up, guys? My name is Nathaniel. My friends call me Nate, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I know all of you guys have been telling me to make a YouTube, and I know I've been saying that I would do it sometime, but since we are under quarantine because of this whole coronavirus situation, I see why not. So in this first video, I want to talk about how I became a barber. So throughout the years, I've been using YouTube to learn many different skills. I've used it to learn stuff like how to dance, how to improve my basketball game, and it shaped my humor, unfortunately. I learned how to play different instruments, and I also learned how to cut my own hair. So I recently just got my barber license back in December of 2019. It's kind of recent, but before that, cutting hair was just a hobby. So I started cutting my own hair my senior year of high school, about 2012. And I was tired of people messing me up, and I did not want to pay $30 for a haircut because at the time for a high schooler, $30 is a lot. And you can't really blame anybody else for messing up on your own self, right? So I grabbed my dad's clippers and I went straight to YouTube and I searched up how to cut hair. And at that time, around 2012, 13, even before that, if you were searching how to cut hair, there's one person that's probably going to show up, and his name was Kicking is Randy. So big shout outs to Randy. This guy was definitely a pioneer of our industry. You could ask any barber who he is, and they're definitely gonna say, oh yeah, that's the guy who taught me how to cut hair, how to do a lineup, how to fade, how to taper, all that good stuff. But apart from Randy, there's really nothing else on YouTube. So a lot of me cutting my own hair and cutting my brother's hair was a lot of trial and error, with a lot of trial and a lot of error. And I want to say it took about 2 years for me to get a decent fade down. Decent enough for my friends to start wanting to get haircuts. So I started cutting more people, like 5. But it was enough people for me to practice on. Like, I wasn't charging them anyways, it wasn't gonna hurt. And then next thing you know, cutting hair just started to become fun. And at the time I was working for Pete's Coffee, and I was studying to become a dental hygienist. My mom's in the dental field, my aunties are in the dental field. I have a cousin who's in the dental field, and it only made sense for me to join the dental field. And man, I remember studying countless hours over at Phil's or Pete's or at some type of coffee shop. And I remember just contemplating my career. Like, I didn't see myself retiring as a dental hygienist. So I had to do what had to be done. I changed my major to respiratory therapy. I felt pretty good about this decision. All the requirements for dental hygiene, met the same requirements in respiratory therapy, so that was good. But I didn't get in the program, so that was bad. So for quite a bit of time, I felt stuck. Like, I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't know what to do with my career. And keep in mind, I'm still cutting on the side. And I remember when I'm cutting some of my friends, we're talking, and when you're getting a haircut, you have to talk. You can't just not talk. And so when I would tell them about my situation, they were telling me that I should just pursue barbering. And I felt like my skills weren't good enough yet, but you gotta start somewhere. So with a lot of talking with my friends and a lot of praying, I decided that I was gonna enroll into barber school. And in order to enroll into barber school, I had to tell my parents. So for all my Asian friends who pursued something outside of the medical field, I think you know what that talk is like. You're like a dead man walking. So I kept on walking. And I remember when I told my parents that I wanted to pursue barbering as a career choice, man, my mom was like, she was alright. She was like, why? But my dad was like, holy crap. You wanna know what my dad said? He said, you think your passion is gonna support your family? And when I heard that, I wasn't mad. I was shocked. And then I was mad. And then obviously, I had to defend myself. So I told him, yeah, Dad, I think I can support my family. And then for like 10 seconds, he stares at me with those, that Filipino dad stare. And then for 10 seconds, I look at him with my kuya, older sibling, death stare. And then he just walks away. And, at the time I was like, he really just said that. But it wasn't until I graduated barber school until I realized he meant what he said, because in the Philippines, barbers, they don't make much. They make like, what, 20, 30, 40 pesos, and to the American dollar, it's not a lot. So when your parents leave their home country to come to America, they're imagining their kids to be successful. They want them to have a big profession like a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, etc. I don't blame them for being so hard on us because, you know, my dad, he didn't grow up in the richest part of the Philippines, so he really wanted to change that by having his kids, being my brother and my sister, be successful. So I had to prove to my parents and change their mindset that I can make a living out of just, you know, cutting hair. And surely but slowly, they started supporting me more and more time after time. You know, they saw how many people were coming to the house to get a haircut. They saw how many times and how many hours I'd be watching, you know, haircut videos. And, you know, I really thank God for, you know, for having my parents support me throughout this whole process. So let's fast forward a bit, and you know, I finally get my barber license. Spoiler alert, and I don't regret it one bit. And it's funny because about 2 weeks ago, me and my mom both woke up early for work, and when we met in the kitchen, she said, "Oh, you're going to work already?" For the past like 10 years, going to work meant answering phone calls when I was working at my mom's dental office. It meant sterilizing the instruments. It meant making lattes at Pete's Coffee. It meant dealing with customers, dealing with my boss, dealing with coworkers. And now going to work meant doing something that I love doing, and I get paid for it. And I didn't always love cutting hair. You know, when I first enrolled into barber school, man, I was frustrated. You know, I saw how many people that were better than me. I saw that they were faster. I saw that their fades were cleaner. But you know, it wasn't until I stopped focusing on their craft and started focusing on my own. Because once I started developing my own skill, you know, that's when my hobby started turning into a passion. And you know, it feels good when you find out, you know, what you want to do with your life. You know, you might not find out what you want to do in high school. You might not find out in college. You might find out after college. But in order for you to get to where you are, you have to go through these obstacles. Like if I didn't take the dental hygiene route to the respiratory therapy route, then I probably wouldn't have found out that I wanted to be a barber. So I want to thank you guys for watching my video and listening to my story. I do hope that this channel does justice and influences another upcoming barber like how Randy influenced me. There will be more content coming out soon, so stay posted for that. It's going to be hard managing this YouTube account, and this is what I was scared of. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Hey, how do they do that?